What's good, sports fans? Are you ready to elevate your live entertainment experience? Well, let me introduce you to SeatGeek, an amazing platform that connects you to your favorite events while saving you money. With SeatGeek, you can easily find tickets for sports games, concerts, and so much more, all in one place. The interface is user-friendly, making it simple to browse and compare prices. And one of the best features is the interactive seating chart. You can see exactly where you'll be sitting and how much you'll be spending, ensuring you get the best value for your money. But here's the best part. Check this out. By using my promo code, ChalkItUpSports, you can enjoy a one-time $20 discount on your first SeatGeek order. That's right, $20 off your first SeatGeek order. Imagine catching that thrilling game or concert without breaking the bank. It's a win-win situation. Plus, you'll be a part of a community of fans who eat, sleep, and breathe live events just as much as you do. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description to download the SeatGeek app today. And don't forget to use my promo code ChalkItUpSports for a one-time $20 discount on your first SeatGeek order. Get excited. Now let's get back to the show. Yeah. What's good? This is your boy Tone DeShields the second. You guys are locked in on another dose of Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. Excuse me. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, man. I do not take it for granted. Y'all know the vibes. Y'all know the energy, man. Make sure you guys are on the right side of history here at Chalk It Up Sports. Get comfortable, kick your feet up. You feel me? Make sure you got your snacks. Maybe some of you guys are on your lunch break. Maybe you're coming off your lunch break. Maybe you guys are going in for that afternoon shift. Maybe you guys are getting off work a little early because it's Friday. You feel what I'm saying? So I appreciate all the love and the support, man. You guys are truly, truly phenomenal. Thursday night football was last night. How about that game last night? But before I get too far, man, y'all know what y'all got to do. Make sure you guys go check out the content. We're available on TikTok and Instagram at ChalkItUp_sports. Also, the content is available on Apple Podcasts. It's also available on Spotify as well. And I always appreciate you guys watching the playbacks, watching all the clips and the interviews and the reaction videos as well. You guys have truly been phenomenal. Also, by the way, tell me how you guys feel about those reaction videos I put out. You know what I mean? How are you guys feeling about that? I always want to check the temperature of my people. You know what I mean? Are you guys enjoying those reaction videos? You know, I did some reactions to a couple interviews as well. Zadarius Smith's interview, Tank Bigsby's interview, right? I also reacted to Tank Bigsby's 2024 highlights. I reacted to the Commanders game last night as well. Make sure you guys let me know what you think about those reaction videos. So, you know, I appreciate y'all, man. Let's keep the vibes going. Let's keep the vibes as electric as possible. You feel me? So, all right. Where do we begin? So today's show, we're going to be focusing on the NFC East, right? You know, I don't really do full-fledged shows focused on the NFC East. I always give you guys quick hits, but today we're going to focus on the NFC East, right? And it begins with that game last night. I had a chance to watch it, had a chance to react to the highlights, and I got to tell you something. The Commanders are exactly who I thought they were. They're exactly who I thought they were, right? I got into it with a Commanders fan in the comment section one time before, and I'm trying to remember exactly what I said to him. But I basically told him that you guys are exactly what I think you are. You're exactly what I know you to be. And quite frankly, you guys are just in the way. The Commanders are just in the way. Like a traffic cone. They're just in the way. And what do we do with traffic cones? We go around them. Sometimes we run them over. But I'm watching that game last night and I'm saying to myself, yo, Green Bay and Washington, they were playing at two different speeds. That Green Bay defense was flying off the football. Those guys are playing fast. They're highly motivated. They're talented. They're young. Green Bay has to strike while the iron is hot. Green Bay has to win it all. They have to. Now, they got to go through the Philadelphia Eagles. But my point is, you can't miss out on opportunities like this, right? You got a young defense, you got a young offense. That team is up and coming. And I think Green Bay has everything they need to get to the NFC Championship this year. They do. Now, granted, it's only been 2 weeks. It's only been 2 weeks, right? And I like to have about a 4-game sample size before I really give a concrete opinion about a team. But sometimes teams show you things that you just have to respond to. And Green Bay played phenomenal last night. The passing game kind of slowed down a little bit in the second half, but Jordan Love had over 200 passing yards in the first half. Tucker Kraft was cooking their DBs, was cooking their linebackers. You know, Josh Jacobs did what Josh Jacobs does, but I'm looking at the Commanders side of things, right? The Commanders lost Austin Eckler to a torn Achilles. They also lost Dietrich Wise Jr. I'm not exactly sure what Dietrich Wise's injury was, but in that game last night, you lost Austin Eckler, your best pass catcher at the running back position, and you lost Dietrich Wise Jr. on your defensive line. So, and by the way, Dietrich Wise was carted off last night. He was carted off, and he suffered a season-ending quad injury, according to Adam Schefter. So your defensive line took a hit. Your running game took a hit. You already can't stop the run, and you already can't run the ball. So I'm looking at the Commanders, right? And let's just kind of go through the stat line real quick. Let's just kind of go through some of the stats, because some of these stats are misleading. Let's start with Jaden Daniels, who did not play well last night. He did not play well last night. I don't care what Commanders fans try to say to you. I don't care how they try to spin it. He did not play well last night. There was a point in the game where he only had 60 passing yards. I think it was like the third quarter or the second quarter. He did not play well last night. He was running for his life, in all fairness to him. That Commanders offensive line, finito. They traded for Larry Tunsil to fix that issue. Micah Parsons, Rashawn Gary, Devontae Wyatt, they was cooking them boys. I was just paying attention to what the Packers were doing. They would send 5-man pressures, 4-man pressures, 6-man. They were sending so many different combinations. And they did such an amazing job preventing Jaden Daniels from hurting them with his legs. Jaden Daniels went 24 for 42, completed 57% of his passes for 200 passing yards, averaged less than 5 yards an attempt, 2 passing touchdowns, no interceptions. But again, I say less than 5 yards an attempt. Come on. a 57% completion percentage. Outside of that Zach Ertz touchdown, it was all garbage points, garbage time. 57% completion, average less than 5 yards an attempt, 200 passing yards, which was all garbage yards, really. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, the boy they call Bill. They said call him Bill. You look more like a William last night. 4 carries, 17 yards. Longest run of the day, 5 yards. Austin Eckler, 8 carries, 17 yards. Longest run of the day, 5 yards. Jaden Daniels, 7 carries, 17 yards. Longest run of the day, 8 yards. I told people, I was talking to one of my coworkers, and he said, "Hey, who you got tonight?" This was last night. I told him I got the Green Bay Packers. He said, "Word. How do you think they get it done?" I said, "Listen, if they can keep Jaden Daniels from hurting them on the edge, if they can keep everything inside that box, if they can dominate the edges, if they can dominate the outside, the perimeter, if they can dominate the perimeter, this game's over. This game is over. If they allow Jaden Daniels to do what he does with his legs, if they allow a running game to start, then the Commanders have a chance. But if they dominate the line of scrimmage, if they prevent anything from popping on that perimeter, game over for the Commanders. And what happened last night? Jaden Daniels couldn't do shit. Couldn't do nothing. Couldn't do what he normally does. You feel me? And I like Jaden Daniels. I like his talent. I think he's a talented player. Now, he plays for the Commanders. So, by proxy, I got to hate on him. But game recognized game at the end of the day. Zach Ertz was their best receiver last night. Zach Ertz, 6 catches, 64 yards, averaged 10 yards of reception, 1 touchdown. Longest catch of the day, 20 yards, 8 targets. Terry McLaurin, 5 catches, 48 yards, averaged less than 10 yards of reception. Longest catch of the day, 14 yards, 9 targets. Terry McLaurin didn't take over the way they're used to him taking over. Deebo Samuel, 8 targets, 7 catches, 44 yards, had that garbage time touchdown. We ain't acknowledging that. We ain't paying that no mind. Luke McCaffrey, 1 target, 1 catch. Noah Brown, 4 targets, 1 catch. Noah Brown was dropping everything last night. They was on his head. Brandon Lewis, he did not play well last night. Jaden Daniels did not play well last night at all. Since when? Unless you're being sarcastic. Maybe you're being sarcastic, Brandon Lewis. Maybe you're responding to somebody else. But 57%, got you, Brandon Lewis, got you. I had to ask. A 57% completion percentage. There was a point in the game where he had like 65 passing yards, like in the third quarter. It was crazy. Am I off when I say that? I could have swore I saw that on the screen. Just wasn't a good night for the Commanders. They are so weak in the trenches. They had a rookie out there at right tackle. They had, what's my man name? I liked him. I wanted the Eagles to draft him. Let me see if I can find him here. At right tackle, they had the rookie, Josh Connolly Jr. And I tell you this, Josh Connolly Jr. was getting work last night. Micah Parsons and Rashawn Gary was working that ass last night. They had him out there working like he was shaking like a stripper. Micah Parsons and Rashawn Gary had him looking like he didn't belong out there. Laramie Tunsil didn't play well. That interior, they was whooping Brandon Coleman ass at left guard. Tyler Biadasz did not look good. I'm telling you this right now. That quick game that the Commanders love so much, that screen game that they love to get off so much, it's not working. I told them. I said, trust me, that Cliff Kingsbury offense always runs its course. That Cliff Kingsbury offense is like the common cold. It annoys you at first, but eventually it goes away. Let me say that again because I like that. I ain't gonna lie. That Cliff Kingsbury offense, it's like the common cold. It annoys you at first, but eventually you figure it out. Eventually it goes away. So again, I want people to understand we are a Philadelphia Eagles-centric platform, and therefore it's our responsibility to cover not only the Eagles, but we have to cover the teams that are in close proximity to the Eagles, a la Cowboys, a la Giants, a la Commanders, and then we expand it to the rest of the NFL. That's what we do here. So whether you Commanders fans like it or not, I'm going to talk about you. Either you're going to give me something good to talk about, or you're going to give me something bad to talk about. Today, it's the latter. That's 2 games in a row where, personally, Jayden Daniels didn't really impress me. Personally. What was his completion percentage in the last game they played? I got to find this out real quick. Hold on. Jayden Daniels completed 63% of his passes against the Giants, which is a pretty good defense, if you ask me, but it's the Giants. They can't score. The Giants can't score. So I didn't really give y'all defense that much credit for that. They tried to give their defense all the credit in the world. Oh, the penalties. That's why we couldn't blow them out, because of the penalties. I read your comments. Yeah, because of the penalties, we couldn't really blow them out. Okay, all right, whatever. You put up 21 points. Okay. I saw that game. Green Bay Packers, you got to go to Lambeau. Woo-wee, they beat y'all 27-10. I ain't buying that 18-point score. I ain't buying that. I'm not buying it. They beat y'all 27-10. Them 8 points was garbage time. Miss me with that. We ain't buying that. Them boys came out there and said, night, night. They came out there and said, night, night. When Jayden Daniels not running that ball, that shit look a little different, don't it? Y'all need more. And let me get to the football talk. Let me stop trolling. Let me get to the real football talk. Y'all need more. Seriously. Like no bullshit. Not even trying to troll. Not even trying to be funny here. Y'all need more. What happened in 2024, what y'all did last year, it was cute. It was exciting. It was the new toy. It was the new kid in school. It was fun to watch. It was exciting. Y'all deserve that because the organization has been mediocre for so long. Y'all deserve that run last year. Y'all deserve that. But what you got to be reminded of is that it takes more than just a run to be great. You got to be able to prove you can do it consistently. You got to prove that you can do it on a consistent basis against good teams. I mean this respectfully. You got to do it against good teams. These are the benchmarks. These are the measuring stick moments. And when I watched the Commanders last night, they don't have a running game. They can't protect the quarterback consistently. They can't stop the run. These are facts. You guys are not ready for the big time yet. You're not. This is an undisputed truth. Your offensive coordinator is going to be your downfall in the end because he doesn't know how to evolve. The Cliff Kingsbury offense is like the common cold. It's annoying at first, but eventually it goes away. You figure it out. You work past it. Y'all want to see the next level of Jaden Daniels? Get him a new coordinator. I'm telling you. I'm letting y'all know right now, Commanders fans, Cliff Kingsbury will be your downfall in the long run. We saw it with the Arizona Cardinals. They figured him out so fast. You know how many times Cliff Kingsbury had like these strong starts to a season, and then eventually by mid-season they figure him out? Cliff Kingsbury gets figured out. It's known. This is a fact. This is not my opinion anymore. You got a young rookie right tackle out there, and Josh Connolly Jr. I think he's going to be good, but he's not there yet. Last night was a humbling performance for him. Marshawn Lattimore, y'all traded for him last year. He got worked in the playoffs by A.J. Brown. He got worked. He got worked last night. Y'all couldn't defend Tucker Kraft. Y'all couldn't defend Tucker Kraft. What are we talking about? Tucker Kraft, the tight end, who's slow as molasses, had 124 yards on y'all. What are you talking about? Y'all need more. Y'all the oldest team in football. The oldest. You got the quarterback. That's not a question. That's not a question. Y'all got the quarterback. Right? You got the quarterback. Let's make that clear. You got the quarterback figured out. You got him. That's the hardest thing to figure out. You got him. So that's a plus. You got the head coach. That's tough to find. That's a plus. So you got the head coach. You got the quarterback. I'm even willing to say you got the GM. I'll even give you that, even though I still feel like he has to prove more. He got to get this team younger, personally. And I think this is going to be the problem with the Commanders. I think this is going to be the real issue. I think what they did in 2024 is going to haunt them. Because eventually they're going to realize, damn, we're not as close as we thought we were. We've invested so much in these older players instead of really building this thing from the ground up and investing in younger talent and developing younger talent. You see, the Washington Commanders are trying to put the cart before the horse. They're trying to put the cart before the horse. They got to that NFC Championship game and said, oh, wait, we're closer than what we think. We got to capitalize off this. Let's go get an old Debo. Let's bring back Bobby Wagner, who's old. Still a good player, though. They're an old team with a young quarterback. That's not how you build the roster. But eventually you're going to realize you got to get younger if you want this thing to sustain itself. At some point, you're going to realize you got to get younger and develop those guys if you want to sustain this thing. The way y'all built right now, you will not win a championship like that. You're too old. You're too old. You're too long in the tooth. But regardless, though, again, I say, you figured out the quarterback. You figured out the head coach. I think your GM is on the right track, but you got to get younger. So those three things are very important. You got those. You got those. That's really important. I give you guys credit for that. But you're not quite there yet. You're not quite there yet. You're not quite there. Anyway, hell of a game last night. I enjoyed it. Let's get to these super chats real quick. Shout out to my man Alex with the super chat. Ooh, Alex with the 1999. Thank you, brother. He says, as good as the Packers have looked these 2 weeks, they're still sweet to me. I can't wait until we play them. Also, Washington are Dallas 2.0 to me. They beat up on inferior teams and are winless versus playoff teams during the season. You know, man, to the first part, right? The Packers, they're exciting. They're the new toy. They're the new toy at the daycare center, right? Everybody is excited about them. Everybody wants their turn, right? The Packers are the new boys on the block. They're the new toy. So people are excited about them. But I'm not ready to call the Packers. As of right now, they look like the best defense in football. As of right now, they look like that. I need more games before I give them that moniker personally. But so far, so good. Back-to-back games, putting up 27 points, right? So they're averaging 27 points on the season. In week 1, they only allow 6 points, I believe. Wait, let me make sure I got that right here. Make sure I got that right. I don't want to misspeak. In week 1, they only allow 13 points to the Lions. Week 2, they only allow 18 points to the Commanders. That's really good. That's really good. Now, granted, they were back-to-back home games. So we're going to see how this team operates on the road. We're going to see how this team operates when the stakes get higher. They had back-to-back home games. Very favorable on the short week for sure. So we're going to find out what the Green Packers are, especially on the road. I think the Green Bay Packers can definitely start the season 6-0. I think they can beat the Browns. I think they can beat the Cowboys. I think they can beat the Bengals. I think they can beat the Cardinals as well. I think their first real test is probably going to be the Steelers. We'll see how it goes. But the Packers, so far so good. I'll give them that. So far so good. I'm still not a Jordan Love believer. I know he's talented. I won't take away the talent. But I'm not a believer in him. I've seen him fold in big games before. I've seen Jordan Love get hurt in crucial parts of the season. So I saw Jordan Love run for like 15 yards last night, something like that. It was like 15, 20 yards. I don't know. He ran for like 10 to 15 yards, give or take. And he got hit pretty hard, but he ate the hit and kept moving a little bit for a couple extra yards. Jordan Love, with all due respect, that was an exciting play that gets the stadium excited, that gets the team excited for sure. But you can't do that, Jordan Love. You can't do that. You can't take those kind of hits. You can't, because you got an injury history. I know it's exciting. It's a new season, but you can't do that. Jordan Love has to be smarter in those situations. You can't be the one to take those hits. You can't be the one to try to get the stadium excited about, running somebody over. You can't do that because you have a lengthy injury history. So protect yourself, young blood. Protect yourself. So again, the Packers, so far so good. I'm not ready to crown them because in order to be the champs, you got to beat the champs. I can't crown them until they beat us. Personally, we beat them 2 times in the same season. I can't crown them until they beat us. That's my mindset. Until they beat the Philadelphia Eagles, I can't crown them. And guess what? We'll see them November 10th, Monday Night Football at Lambeau Field. We'll see them then. And as far as Dallas and Washington goes, look, man, Washington. Let me look at Washington's schedule from last year. Who did they really beat last year? I got to find this out. Because they beat the Giants this year. They lost to Green Bay. Who did they beat last year? I got to really look at this. How many playoff teams did they beat last year? So, okay. They beat New York. No one cares. They beat Cincinnati. No one cares. They beat Arizona. No one cares. They beat Cleveland. No one cares. They lost to Baltimore. They lost to Tampa Bay. That's 2 playoff teams. They beat Carolina. We don't care. They beat Chicago. We don't care. They beat the Giants. We don't care. They lost to the Steelers, the Eagles, and the Cowboys. They beat Tennessee. We don't care. They beat New Orleans. We don't care. They beat the Eagles on the fluke. We don't care. They beat Atlanta. We don't care. They beat Dallas. We don't care. We don't care. You lost to Tampa Bay. Now, granted, you did beat Tampa Bay in the playoffs, so that's a big deal. You beat Detroit in the divisional round. That's a big deal. But you got smoked 55-23 in the conference championship. So all I'm trying to say is y'all got hot at the right time. Y'all had a little magic moment. But throughout that regular season, y'all didn't beat Baltimore. Y'all didn't beat Tampa Bay in the regular season, even though y'all beat them in the playoffs. Y'all lost to the Eagles 2 out of 3 times. Y'all still got a lot of work to do. You still got a lot of work to do. That's all I'm gonna try to say, man. Let's move on to the next super chat. Award with the $9.99 super chat. He said Packers let them hang. He said the Packers let them hang around longer than they needed to. They could have easily had 40 points. Love had a good game, but he missed some big throws. LaFleur got conservative that whole third quarter. To your point, Wharf, I would agree with you on that. I think the Packers definitely let them hang around way too long. I also think the Packers missed big opportunities in that game. In the second half, that passing game fell off a bit, right? The first half, they had over 200 yards passing. In that first half, Green Bay, Jordan Love, had over 200 yards passing. He finished the game with 292. So they were able to stifle him a little bit in that second half. They were able to slow him down in that second half. So Green Bay, they beat Detroit, but I never was a believer in Detroit this year. I didn't believe in Detroit. You lost Ben Johnson. You lost Aaron Glenn. I wasn't a believer in Detroit before the season started. I'm not a believer now. I didn't believe in the Commanders before the season started. I'm not a believer now. So in my humble opinion, the Green Bay Packers, although they look good now, they have yet to be the team that I believe in any capacity. They've yet to be the team that I believe in. But so far, so good. I'm not going to take nothing away from them. They beat the Lions in the division, playoff team. They beat the Commanders, playoff team. So I got to give them credit where credit is due. But the Packers, until you beat the Eagles, I can't take you serious yet. KO to Green with the super chat. Thank you, man. And he says, felt like the Packers were trying to give the game away. If Love passes deep that many times on us, we finna blow them out again. Yeah, it seemed like the Packers were, again, they let them hang around too long. And then they got cold at certain points and so on and so forth. There was a point in that game where I thought, hey, can Jaden Daniels stage a comeback? But overall, they couldn't protect him. They couldn't push the ball down the field. They couldn't run the football. They couldn't stop the Packers from sustaining drives and taking time off the clock. As a matter of fact, on top of that, the Washington Commanders were awful on third down. 5 for 16 on third down. 5 for 16. That's about 30%. The Commanders were 31. They converted third downs at a 31% clip. They were 5 for 12. They were 5 for 16 on third down in comparison to the Packers, who were 5 for 12 on third down, which is 41%. Not that great either. So I think the Packers got to be better on third down. I think the Commanders got to be better on third down. But the Packers generated over 400 yards of total offense. They were averaging over 6 yards a play. They were averaging over 8 yards a pass attempt. They were averaging over 4 yards a carry. They were 3 for 4 in the red zone, but they had a lot of penalties last night. So I think Green Bay has to clean up the penalties. All right. Let's move on. Let's talk Giants real quick. It's not going to take us long. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. I appreciate y'all so much. Let's just talk Giants real quick. Won't take long whatsoever. The Giants got a quarterback problem. They got a quarterback problem and they got an offensive line problem. As a matter of fact, they got an offensive line problem. How can I know what Russell Wilson really is in that team if he ain't got no time to throw the rock? I look at that Giants team and I say to myself, you got a defense. You got a defense that could play. But when you only can generate 6 points, when your quarterback is only going 17 for 37 for 168 yards, completing 45% of his passes, when you're averaging less than 5 yards a pass attempt, you can't do much with that. You can't do much with it. Russell Wilson is an OG. He's 36 years old. You know, he's a veteran. How can I look at Russell Wilson and really judge him accordingly if y'all can't block? They're not blocking. They think Jackson Dart gonna look better, and I think Jackson Dart is the future of the Giants. I do. It all remains to be seen, though. But I think Jackson Dart has some tools that I like, has some tricks that I like. He has some speed. You know, he throws with pretty decent anticipation. But if Russell Wilson's getting cooked out there with that offensive line, what you think Jackson Dart how he gonna look? And Jackson Dart hasn't seen the defenses Russell Wilson has seen before. If they throw Jackson Dart out there, because I see the Giants fan base talking about play Dart, play Dart. If you put Jackson Dart out there with that offensive line, y'all gonna ruin that young boy career. Y'all gonna ruin that young boy career. I promise you that right now, because that offensive line ain't protecting nobody. That's my humble opinion about that. I like the Giants defense. That Giants defense, let me make sure I got this right here. They can get to the quarterback. They get pressure. Right? I think they can do a better job stopping the run. They didn't do a good job. They gave up over 200 rushing yards against the Commanders. You got to do a better job stop. You got to do a better job stopping the run. You got to do a better job. They were getting ran all over. So if you're not stopping the run, you can't protect your quarterback. You can't push the ball down the field. What are you on offense? You got to help your defense. You got to help them. They held the Commanders to 21 points. You got to score. The Giants got into the red zone. Let me see if I got this right here. The Giants got to the red zone 2 times and they didn't score no touchdowns. You got to help your defense. As a matter of fact, your defense held the Commanders to 4 for 11 on third down. Even with Jaden Daniels' running ability, the Giants defense held the Commanders to 4 and 11 on third down. 4 and 11. That's a 36% conversion rate. If your defense is holding the opposing offense to 4 for 11 on third down, offense, y'all got to score. You got to score. And on top of that, I actually think the Giants have some nice young weapons. They're still developing. They're still ascending. But I like, what's my man's name? I like Wan'Dale Robinson. I like Malik Neighbors. I like Tyrone Tracy. I think the Giants have a nice wide receiver duo, a nice young ascending wide receiver duo. I like those guys. But when your defense is holding a team to 4 for 11 on third down, offense, you got to do something. You got to do something. When you get to the 5-yard line, they were at the goal line twice and they couldn't score a fucking touchdown. Like, I'm looking at Russell Wilson. I'm like, yo, he ain't got no time. I see people trying to say Russell Wilson is the problem. Give him time. Give him time. That's how I'm looking at that. Even the run game. Russell Wilson had 8 carries for 44 yards. He was the run game. Jaden Daniels in that game, 11 carries for 68 yards. He did well. He did well. But Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, 82 yards on 10 attempts. Austin Eckler, 26 yards on 6 attempts. Jeremy McNichols, 25 yards on 4 attempts. Deebo Samuel, the 19-yard rushing touchdown. Even if you take away Jaden Daniels' rushing yards, they still rushed for, what is that, 140 yards on you still? They still rushed for about 150 yards on you, even without Jaden Daniels' rushing yards. So, Commanders, you got to stop the run. That's the defense. Because I think their defense is pretty good, especially that front seven, that pass rush. And then offensively, protect the quarterback better. Protect the quarterback better, man. It's just that simple. Nonetheless, all right, that's the Giants. Let's move on. Let's move on, man. Let's move on. Let's move on to the Cowboys real quick, and then we're going to talk Eagles. This ain't going to take that long either. Obviously, Dak Prescott is back. I think Dak Prescott actually didn't play that bad against the Eagles. I look at the Dallas Cowboys and I say to myself, interesting. I'm still having a hard time figuring out how good or how bad they are. I need a larger sample size to figure out what the Cowboys are. You know, new head coach, you know, new coordinators and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, Micah Parsons is not there anymore, right? I'm still trying to figure out what the Cowboys are, because if Dak is throwing the ball like that, and obviously CeeDee Lamb has to catch the ball, if Dak, CD, and George Pickens can continue to put up numbers, then I think that offense is going to be competitive. I think that team is going to be competitive. I just don't think they're deep. Now, DaRon Bland, he's hurt already. He's hurt. And we don't know when DaRon Bland's going to come back. We don't know when he comes back. And Trevon Diggs had a pretty decent game against the Eagles. He didn't play bad at all. You know, Trevon Diggs still getting his legs under him. Trevon Diggs is a talented player, right? But now you don't have DaRon Bland. You don't have that other kid either. I forget his name. Let me see if I can figure out his name. What's the other corner? Shavon Revel. So DaRon Bland is hurt, and Shavon Revel is hurt. Now it's just Trevon Diggs and Kyra Elam. I'm telling you right now, Kyra Elam is going to get abused. It's going to get abused. But like I said, the Cowboys, I'm still trying to figure them out. I need to see a little bit more. Not having Micah Parsons kind of shifts how you view them a little bit. I'm still waiting to see who takes that next step. Will Marshawn Nealon take that next step, right? I think Kenny Clark is a good pickup for them. I like the Kenny Clark-Osa Odighizuwa combination. I think it's going to be a good duo for them, especially on the interior. But I still think they're compromised on the outskirts. They're still compromised on the perimeter in terms of the edge. You lose DaRon Bland, you don't have Revel, you're compromised. Teams are just going to throw away from Trevon Diggs. It's just that simple. Teams are just going to throw away from him. And that's easy. I don't think the Cowboys are particularly good at linebacker either. They can't tackle in open space. You know, I think their young offensive line is ascending. I think the offensive line for the Cowboys is talented, but they're young and still relatively unproven as a group. I need to see more from them. I like their center. I like their left guard. I like their right tackle. The jury is still out for me on their left tackle and their right guard. But, you know, we'll see what they look like when Overshown comes back. We'll see what they look like when DaRon Bland comes back. But I just know they're going to miss DaRon Bland. They are. Because Kyra Elam is going to get worked. You saw what Jahan Dotson did to him. I think the only way the Cowboys win football games is they got to put up points. And they got to put up points early to give themselves a chance. Dak, CD, what's the other boy name? Dak, CD, George Pickens, and that tight end. Jake Ferguson, they got to put up points. I'm still not a believer in their run game either. I don't believe in their run game. Outside of that Miles Sanders 49-yard run, outside of that, they really didn't run well against the Eagles. Outside of that, I know Javonte Williams had 2 rushing touchdowns, but that was at the goal line. That is what it is. And, Jalen Carter didn't play in that game, so on and so forth. You take away the 49-yard rushing from Miles Sanders, and that instantly brings their rushing total to 70 yards, I think. Or 60 yards, excuse me. No, 70 yards. I'm right, 70 yards. So outside of that long run from Miles Sanders, they didn't particularly run the ball that well. But again, I need to see more from the Cowboys. I need to see a little bit more. I need to see more from all these teams, actually. I need to see more from the Commanders. I need to see more from the Cowboys. I need to see more from the Giants. But the Commanders' problems, I think their problems are a little bit more serious than people want to make it. I think the Giants' problems on the offensive line are grave. And I think the Cowboys, they're going to have to put themselves in shootout situations. Because I don't know if that defense can consistently keep points off the board. Nonetheless. All right. And again, you didn't play the Eagles the Eagles were without their best player on defense, Jalen Carter. Just saying. And A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith didn't even go off, and we still did what we did. Saquon had a calm game. We didn't really hit them with the haymaker. We was just jabbing them all night. Nonetheless, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see, man. Let's keep this ball rolling here. Now, let's get to the Eagles. Let's get to the Eagles now. So, the Eagles injury report came out. Make sure I got this right here. Where is it? I had it right here. So, Dallas Goedert, I believe, has officially been ruled out. All right, let's pull this up. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. I appreciate the support. I appreciate the love. All right, here's your Philadelphia Eagles injury report for Friday, September 12th. Dallas Goedert did not practice and is ruled out for the game on Sunday against the Chiefs. He's out. Will Shipley out with the rib injuries. Cameron Williams out with the shoulder injury. He's a tackle, an offensive tackle for the Eagles. He's a depth player. I'm not really worried about that. Tanner McKee, he was throwing today, so he was limited in practice. He was throwing with a glove on. He's questionable. So Tanner McKee, that's a good sign for him. Landon Dickerson with the back injury, full practice participant. Jalen Hurts, full participant with the hip. So this is a good sign for Landon Dickerson. This is a good sign for Jalen Hurts. So the Eagles, outside of Dallas Goedert and Will Shipley, are going to be at full strength. But remember, they traded for Tank Bigsby. They got A.J. Dillon backing up Saquon Barkley. That offensive line still is what they are. Jalen Hurts at quarterback. A.J. Brown and Devontae on the perimeter. I'm not worried about not having Dallas Goedert in this game. I'm going to be honest with you. You want to know why? I'm not worried about Dallas Goedert not being available because this is par for the course. This is something the Eagles have been dealing with since 2022 and beyond. But let's just focus on 2022 to 2024, the past 3 seasons. Dallas Goedert, since 2022, when he's not available, and again, I remind you, since 2022, from 2022 to 2024, the past 3 seasons, Dallas Goedert has missed a combined 15 regular season games, which is almost a full season of football. In those 15 games he's missed, the Philadelphia Eagles are 13-2. They went 5-0 in 2022. They went 2-1 in 2023, and they were 6-1 in 2024. The Eagles have a lengthy history of winning football games without Dallas Goedert. Now, are the Eagles better with him? Absolutely. They are absolutely better with Dallas Goedert. They're better. But the Eagles also still win games without him. They don't miss a beat without him. Does the offense change? Sure. Do they have to kind of revamp that security blanket? Do they got to put more trust in Grant Calcaterra and other guys? Sure. But trust me, the Eagles, they win plenty football games without Dallas Goedert. And I don't mean any disrespect. It's just a fact. The Eagles are 13-2 without Dallas Goedert. So I'm not worried about it, frankly. As a matter of fact, you know what this means? A.J. Brown. Get ready to watch A.J. Brown cook because Trip McDuffie can't do shit with him. I promise you that. Trip McDuffie can't do nothing with A.J. Brown. The Chiefs' defense can't do nothing with Devontae Smith. We know that for fact. If anything, the Chiefs, they've proven that they can slow down Saquon Barkley. They can slow him down. But what people don't talk about enough about that Super Bowl, what people don't talk about enough with Saquon Barkley's Super Bowl performance is this. Although Saquon Barkley was held to 25 carries for 57 yards, although Saquon Barkley was only averaging 2.3 yards an attempt, when you compile Saquon Barkley's total yards in that game, Saquon Barkley, remember, had 6 catches on 7 targets, 40 yards, averaged 6.7 yards of reception. His longest catch of the day, 22 yards in that Super Bowl. So in grand total, Saquon Barkley had 31 touches for 97 total yards in the Super Bowl. And he blocked tremendously. He was tremendous blocking. So sure, maybe the Chiefs can slow down Saquon. Maybe they can slow him down. Right? Maybe they can slow him down. But they dedicate so many resources to slowing him down, he still finds way to affect the game. And that leaves A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith to do amazing things. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. They could, like Saquon said, you can lock in on him all you want. You still got to worry about Jalen Hurts. You still got to worry about Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown. You still got to worry about those guys. You still got to worry about that offensive line. So again, I say, Saquon Barkley still affected that game. And I saw that Chiefs defense against the Chargers. I saw that. They can be had. And that Chiefs offensive line, they can be had too. Especially at tackle. Left tackle in particular. They got a rookie Josh Simmons at left tackle. And they got the veteran Juwan Taylor at right tackle, who they just paid. Now, I do expect the Chiefs to make a lot of adjustments from week 1. I do expect that. They had time to prepare. They know the Eagles very well. But Jalen Hurts against that Steve Spagnuolo defense, he's too productive. The Chiefs try everything. They try to blitz Jalen Hurts. They try it all, and they still can't stop him. Still can't stop him. This is going to be a big game for A.J. Brown. I firmly believe that. I think A.J. Brown is going to go off. Because one thing about A.J. Brown, or one thing about the Eagles, when A.J. Brown has a quiet game, the following week, he destroys the opponent. We saw it with the Panthers game last year going into the Steelers game. We saw it. We saw it. We know how this goes. We know exactly how this goes, okay? So make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Again, Dallas Goedert is out for that Chiefs game, but the Chiefs are also going to be without Xavier Worthy. So no Rashee Rice. He's suspended. No Xavier Worthy. Well, he's doubtful. They say he's doubtful. Andy Reid said there's a slim chance he plays. And in my opinion, he's out. He's out. So no Rashee Rice, no Xavier Worthy. Travis Kelce is a shell of himself. Travis Kelce is not outrunning Zack Baun. He's not outrunning Jihaad Campbell. He's not outrunning Cooper DeJean. He's not. This is going to be, I think the Eagles blow them out. I really think the Eagles blow them out. I think the Eagles beat them by 2 scores, minimum. 2 scores. Now, I don't have my score prediction just yet. I'm going to have that for you guys on Sunday, right? I'm going to have that for you guys on Sunday. But I think the Eagles blow them out. They beat about 2 scores. They beat about 2 scores for sure. Now, and also on top of that, Jalen Carter is going to be on the mission. Remember, Jalen Carter got ejected in the last game. He just dodged the suspension. He dodged it. So he's active for the KC game. Everybody around the building saying, yo, he's super focused. He's super locked in. Jalen Carter, you got an angry Jalen Carter coming in, trying to make amends for what happened in week 1. You got a suspect Chiefs offensive line. The Eagles brought in Zadarius Smith. You got Nolan Smith on the edge as well. You got Jordan Davis and Moro Jomo with Carter and Ty Robinson on the interior with Byron Young. Josh Uche, who led the league in pass rush win rate. Dog. The Eagles are going to beat the Chiefs by double digits. I'm just not sure exactly what the score is yet. But they beat them by double digits. And it's going to get ugly. And look, the Eagles still got to play. You got to play the game. You got to play the game. Patrick Mahomes is still a talented quarterback. He's going to find guys. Now it's up to those receivers to get open. He's going to find guys. He's going to make plays. The Eagles got to prevent him from making things happen with his legs. Because I think in that, make sure I got this right here. In that Chargers matchup, Patrick Mahomes led the team in rushing. He had 6 carries for 57 yards and a touchdown. You still got to watch Hollywood Brown. He's a fast guy, but he's soft. So I ain't worrying about that. Patrick Mahomes had 57 rushing yards on 6 attempts. He's going to try to make things happen with his legs. So the Eagles got to put a spy on him. They can't let him break their backs on 3rd down. They can't. When they got a chance to get him off the field, they got to do it ASAP. So again, you got to play the game, but I think the Eagles beat the Chiefs by double digits. I love the trajectory of the Eagles on. Here's why. Because you beat your division rival in week 1. All things considered, all the variables that went into that game, and you still got the win. You didn't turn the football over. You overall played a pretty clean game of football despite the penalties. They got to clean that up, right? But if I'm the Eagles, I feel good. I feel good going in the Arrowhead. I feel great. So make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, man. That's pretty much it for me for today. I really do appreciate you guys for locking in the way you guys do. Make sure you guys go check out the other content on the channel. Like I said, I'm giving you guys not just the live streams, you're getting clips as well. You guys are also getting reaction videos to NFL highlights, Eagles highlights. You're getting reaction videos to Eagles interviews, right? You guys have a lot of content on the channel at your disposal, so make sure you guys take advantage of that, all right? I really do appreciate the love. That's our show for today. Make sure you guys tune in not only on YouTube, but you also have options on Apple Podcasts. You can check it out on Spotify as well. And also lock in with us on Twitter at DeShields. That's my name on Twitter, at DeShields. And on top of that, make sure you guys check me out on TikTok and Instagram at chalkitup_sports. And it's straight like that. I've been your humble host, Tone DeShields II. And you guys have been locked in on Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game.